Session 3. Does anybody want to give a recap of what happened the last time we played, like 2 weeks ago?
We went to our new house with Belcours, and we looked around. The house is poltergeist, seemingly friendly, but really likes his bar kept in order.
Yeah, and then Gibbles decided to piss him off.
Yeah, and then we were. Somebody came in. Sorry, I forget the name. And we are potentially going to a graveyard to check out ghosts or undead or something's happening involving dead things at a graveyard.
And we filled up the sad tankard and put it behind the bar, so now it's the happy tankard.
That's right. That's right.
And Liz is shopping.
Yeah, so I think where we had parked, was, yeah, you guys came here. Yep. Saw the place. Other details, Volo, who brought you over here, said he'd be back in the next day or so with he'd try to rustle up some reasonable guild representatives regarding getting work done on the place. And I think he also, Lolly, talked to you about potentially putting you in touch with some auctioneers for some of your more valuable treasures from, or for the party's treasures from, not your treasures, but the treasures from the tomb back in Schult. And then, yeah, Liz booked out to go check out the other shops in Troll Skull Alley. Teresa, this is Troll Skull Manor, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with or not from other games, but it is a very dilapidated... Okay, so if you're familiar with Troll Skull, I won't go through the whole thing, but you guys own it. I am repurposing content. So, also I think Troll Skull's fun. Yeah, so I think it was about mid-afternoon by the time at least Lolly, Gibbles, you and Volo had some wine, interacted with the poltergeist, and Liz had come and gone. I think, Teresa, I sent you those notes. Do you have any questions about the notes I sent you? If you've had time to read it.
Yeah, I read it. I was just thinking of a question to ask, because there's certainly I do want to pursue that. I just don't know how to go about doing that yet.
Yeah, and I think you also know that the rest of the party was headed to Troll Skull, so there may be your character may not know it, but let's see here. So I think, yeah, the main thing that Eddard would tell you is he's probably expecting based on his contact with the Emerald Enclave and what they know, but they're expecting the representative from the Emerald Enclave to make themselves known to your group, and the rest of your group is at Troll Skull Manor, so they can get you a coach back to Troll Skull if you want to reunite with them, or they can send you wherever you want in the city. Out of character, Liz is that representative, so these are kind of two different groups have been giving you guys similar information, at least for now. I think there's a couple other plot threads I have dangling out, but those aren't related to this one. Sorry, I just kind of went off on a complete ramble there.
That's fine.
It's been a week. So I have to turn off my work mode of, let me explain how all of this works to you. That's not how role-playing games work. Okay. Ugh. Sorry, I've spent all week telling lots of people very technical instructions on things. I have to turn it off. Okay. So Teresa, what do you want to do after you meet with Eddard? He basically offers, I can send you to Troll Skull, I can send you anywhere else you'd like to go. What would you like to do?
Well, definitely want to investigate the City of Dead. As for the immediate, I think I think a while ago I did express that Teresa did want to try and subdue the poltergeist there. If you guys haven't already done so.
We have not subdued the poltergeist. I don't know what subduing implies for a poltergeist.
Control it.
I don't think we had decided to subdue him. He seems to be relatively friendly if you don't do things that piss him off.
Like
everyone.
Well, if it has not been hostile, then she will hold off for now, but she'll still want to study it to figure out why is this thing still here and what's keeping it manifesting in the material plane, and is there a way to control similar undead? So she would still be thinking about that.
Well, and the other thing to be clear, we have not yet seen the poltergeist. We have only seen effects that it has had upon other things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're pretty sure there's poltergeist because shit's gone flying across the room, but yeah, I haven't seen anything do it, so.
Oh my goodness. Let me see if I have that spell.
Does he?
Oh, surprisingly, don't. I forgot. Speak with Dead is not a wizard spell. It's weird.
Is that like a cleric spell?
Yeah, it's a cleric spell.
Oh, darn it. The thing I was hoping isn't true. Never mind. Oh well. Okay,
Yeah, it's for bards and clerics. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, really, the spell schools and spell lists get weird. So at this point, it's kind of, like I said, it's mid-afternoon. I think Liz is off touring Troll Skull Alley until such time as the sun starts to set. I think Gibbles and Lolly, you guys want to go with her to the graveyard. Do you want to fill Teresa in on what happened?
Lolly will just excitedly tell Teresa when she arrives about this wonderful lizard person that invited them all to go and take care of the undead in the City of the Dead.
Oh, well, that is quite an invitation. I think I would gladly accept.
And Lolly's just kind of like, yes, I knew that you would just be so excited to hear about this. You do have quite the interest in the undead, so I figured it was quite up your alley.
Well, I study the effects of undeath, so to speak, in a more arcane way than a cleric would. It appears that the gravekeepers may not have a full control on this area, so perhaps a more arcane touch might solve this problem.
Yeah, all of that's going to go right over Lolly's head. No fucking idea what she's talking about. He's just going to kind of look at her and be like, uh-huh, uh-huh. Wow. Okay. Great. So yeah. So let's see if we can find Liz and Well, I suppose we should get going then.
Visible facepalm. Visible confusion.
Wait, where did all my campaigns go? Oh, there it is. I like how your new character has said more words than the entire old campaign and is still somehow mildly annoying.
Yeah, it's just annoying in an entirely different way. Yeah.
Lyokin, are you still playing?
Hi.
Hi, are you still playing? What is happening?
A lot of things.
D&D Beyond is like fucked right now.
Operation Pants has had hit a few snags though, so bear with me.
I blame the Australian.
Why can't I open character sheets in D&D
Everything's upside
Beyond?
down. I can't help it.
Oh no, my subscription lapsed because my debit card changed. That's why D&D Beyond sucks. Okay, never mind. I can't get your character right now, Lyokin.
I hear it.
Do you have your character's link by any chance?
Fuck.
Okay. So Liz, you still hanging out noticeably in the shops, or do we have to go hunting for you?
I'm not coming back till dark. Until it gets like later in the evening.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's.
So I mean, I'm just around in the shops. I'm looking for. So I'm just seeing what kind of. I wanted to go and see if there was a place that had like armor or weapons, and then I just kind of wanted to go around if there was like a plant shop. Just kind of around.
Yeah. There are many shops in Troll Skull Alley.
Many shops.
We have many shops. I'm going to find them.
We will find them all.
I switched to a different note app, so I'm just trying to figure out where I put all the notes. Okay. So we have the Bent Nail. That shop sells a variety of furniture, bows, crossbows, staffs, shields, basically anything you can make with a hammer, wood, and nail. There's a shop that's got all of that in it. There's a place called Steam and Steel, which, as you may guess, is a forge. There is you would probably recognize her when you meet her in one of the shops. Corlon's Crown, there is an herbalist from the Guild of Apothecaries, and she operates a townhouse, the top of it's a greenhouse, and the bottom she sells various potions and herbal remedies.
That sounds like it's right up Liz's alley.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely go there.
Okay, and I'll just give the last two shops. There is a building that has a small but vivid sign of an orange and black cat's eyes by the door, and that's really the only indication that there is some sort of business there. And then there is a bookstore that has an image of a gold dragon curled around a hoard of books and scrolls, kind of painted above the lintel of the door. So you've got your kind of medieval home goods / ranged weaponry store, which I guess it's kind of like a Walmart. Depending on where you live. So I'm sorry. Yeah, you've got kind of your wooden stuff store. You've got your forge. You've got your herbalist, apothecary, potion shop. Something that has cat's eyes on it, and a bookstore. And that's what's in the immediate alley around you. If anybody else is interested in anything, either let me know. But yeah. Those are the stores in Troll Skull Alley right now.
Sweet.
Well, I at least started at the Apothecary Store.
You meet so the proprietor is a wood elf woman. I think you vaguely recognize her. The two of you have kind of crossed paths out in the Fields District a few times, and she introduces herself as Fala Lefelier and welcomes you to her shop.
Thank you, Paula. I was wondering if you had any potions of healing.
Yeah, we have a few, and she goes behind the counter and she kind of moves a box out of the way that's got a bunch of fresh cuttings in it, and finds you see behind it some of those beautiful ruby red vials, some of them smooth-sided, some of them with harsher angular shapes. And she says, well, we've got about a crate of the regular kind, and if you're looking for something stronger, I think we've got 2 of those in stock right now.
No, I was just looking for just 2 normal potions of healing.
Yeah, the usual. Yeah, I can grab those for you. And she kind of puts those on the counter, puts them aside. Anything else you're looking for right now?
Well, I just kind of wanted to look around at some of the plants. Do you have any new and different things in the shop?
Well, what season is it? I'm gonna say it's later in the. It's getting later in the fall. There's actually a reason in my head for that it has to do with how long everybody was in Chult, but that's fine. So we have. I'm mostly winding down for the year. I think I have a small selection of exotic grains I've been trying to get growing up in the treehouse, or not the treehouse, the greenhouse. I'm not sure if they're going to take, and they're not quite ready yet. But if they do work, I might be able to make something interesting out of them, or you might be able to bake something fun out of them. We'll see what happens. And as you look around, most of the flowers and herbs right now in the shop are of the dried variety, and you see a pretty wide selection. Basically anything you think you would need for basic alchemy, basic potion making, you can probably get dried versions of those here. And she does have you do see, as you look around a bit more, there are quite a few different potions kind of tucked behind various stuff on the shelf behind her. You can't quite make them all out because her organization system seems to be pretty cluttered. But there's definitely a good selection of potions back there if you're looking for anything in particular.
I mean, I was just mainly looking for the potions of healing, but
Yeah.
Well, be sure to let me know if you have anything. I'd be curious to see what ends up coming of all of your growth.
Sure.
How's the growing season been going so far? I mean, I know we're at the end, but how was it this year?
I mean, when the curse was going down, it wasn't great, right? So when the curse was happening, a lot of the farmers were distracted. Like my personal growing season was fine, and she points at the stock of potions she's got behind her and all the dried herbs that she has. But I mean, in general, for the city, it's going to be a pretty lean winter for all that stuff because people were pretty distracted, mostly during the planting part of the spring. All the rumors and all of the kind of general fear that was going on. So not great, but not because of the weather, just because of, people being afraid.
I don't remember a lot of that as being out where I was or have been. I don't come to the city often.
Yeah, well, we've got the broadsheets here, right? So every time, I mean, even if it isn't a real rumor or a real story, people get freaked out, and it definitely hit people here pretty hard, unfortunately. Were you traveling out during the summer?
Oh, a little bit here and there, and I've just been more concentrated on making sure that out in the outer fields is more okay, and just making sure that we're prepared for anything that might come our way. There's always seems to be something in this city.
Yeah, I mean, we just got used to the new High Lord or the new Open Lord, and then all of a sudden we've got, my brain just completely collapsed. The Death Curse, and now that's over. So we'll see what happens next. Hopefully nothing for at least a season. Maybe we can make it through winter without anything bad happening.
Have you heard anything more about the reports about all the undead in the cemetery?
I've heard a few rumors down when I was at the Enclave house. And she kind of gestures at the badge that you have. But as far as actual details, I don't really have anything.
Well, do you
I,
have any potions that might help with something like that?
I might have a couple of bottles of holy water you could throw at some zombies, but I don't think I have too much else. At least
Well,
I'm.
I'll take one of those. You need to have one for yourself, but if you don't mind staring one, I would take one.
She goes under one cupboard because here no goes under another cupboard and you hear some clinking and she brings out, yeah, it's a bottle of holy water with a very ornate seal on it. I guess you'd be used to seeing this, but it has a very ornate seal stamping that it has been approved by the Holy Order and Guildsmen of Priests, Practitioners, etc. Blah blah blah. Probably the fanciest stamp you've ever seen on a bottle of holy water. Well, you've seen, but pretty fancy. It looks legit. You're pretty sure you're getting real holy water here.
Yeah, well, okay, that sounds good.
Is there anything else you need?
I think that's it.
Okay, so let's see. The potions are 50 apiece in the holy water. Usually that's 25, 75, and you're with the Enclave, so I'll take a little bit off. Does 65 sound good for you?
Sure.
So 65 gold, and you get 2 potions of healing and a holy water.
Let's see. I don't know that what I don't know what I had, but
I don't know what I had, but yeah, it sounds good.
Well, I mean, I would suspect that, Enclave gave me something for coming and getting people and stuff.
They gave you 3 acorns and some mistletoe.
Yeah.
We can figure out gold later because I'm not sure why there's no gold. But I'm assuming you can. I'm assuming at level 12 you can cover 65 gold. I'm not gonna stand on that right now, and I think the party has a truly shocking amount of gold if you actually total up how much it is. Like it really is a shocking amount of gold. So I'm not too worried there. Items. DVD
You can take
item.
it from Xanthiel's.
Oh, I put one in already. For
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't get one for the holy water. I didn't see one in there for the holy water.
What does that count? Oh, interesting. Holy water flask. Boop. There you go.
Oh.
Okay, let's see. Lolly, you threw an investigation roll. Were you trying to investigate something?
Yeah, I wanted to see if using my deductive skills from what I knew of Liz, if I could deduce potentially what shop she would have gone to so that we could follow her and go find her.
You can use your massive deductive skills that the druid from the Emerald Enclave might like the flower shop.
Yeah, exactly.
So sure, yeah. You can do that. Lyokin, I've got a token out for you, but I don't have art for you because.
That's okay.
Yeah, so you're the hooded figure that I will give you a better name. So the alley, I can pop that up. Hopefully this one is clear and visible for everyone. Not sure if it matters. Is that showing up for everybody, or is the vision all weird?
I see Gibbles, Ollie, and Belcorge.
Oh, you
But
know what?
Yeah,
It
that's all I
helps.
see.
It helps if I do this.
That works.
Hey,
Hey, there's Troll Skull Alley. So you guys are at location T1, the shop. Tools. Of course, I wrote down everything about the shops except which number is which shop. Let me figure that one out real quick. You'd think I would do that. So let's see here. So T2. So you guys are at T1, which is the kind of the entrance and the only passable chunk of Troll Skull Alley by street. The apothecary shop is actually due south of you at T4. So that is Coralon's Crown. The Bent Nail, Home Goods, and Ranged Weaponry is at T2. The Forge is across the street at T3. The Cat's Eye shop is at T5. And the bookstore is at the very end of the alley at T6. So just if you care which shop is which, that's where they are. And I'll probably find a more fun map for this if we do more of it, because it's not the funnest map in the world. But so yeah, you deduce walking out the door and looking due south at the flower shop that that's probably a good spot to check for the lizard folk that said she'd meet you at sundown.
So, just looking around this area, what's the general mood of this place? Like, is this like heavily populated? Is like a little bit of footpath traffic or what?
Yeah, so the major streets to the north and south are moderately trafficked. They're kind of like the main north south streets off the map here, but like there's the main thoroughfares of the city. The streets to the north and south of Troll Skull Alley are pretty continuously trafficked, but not dense. Troll Skull Alley itself doesn't see a ton of carriage or rickshaw traffic. There are people coming in and going into these various shops and other buildings here. It looks like this is definitely a mixed block that looks like it's probably seen better days. In fact, Troll Skull Manor itself is probably in the worst condition of anything here, given that it's changed hands many times in the last decade or two and doesn't seem like anybody's really kept it up. But the rest of these buildings are either in passable repair or good repair for people who aren't of high means. Like the apothecary shop is it's it's nice unfinished wood, but it's decently kept up, and you can see the greenhouse on the top of it. And then the rest of the buildings here all look, again, just kind of solidly middle class. There are a few vacant buildings, it looks like, but nothing that looks, you're not in a ghost town.
Okay, so it's kind of like lower middle class.
This is the neighborhood that could either be, it looks like it's been going down, it looks like it was probably going downhill and has started to come back out, and it could go either way in the future. It's kind of hard to tell, but you're not in a slum. You're not with high rollers. This is just workman water deep right here.
Okay, good. I was like, should we watch for something? Should we be like holding on to our pockets? So it's not quite a favela, but it's not quite a ghetto either.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the impression that you're going to get mugged here. If that, maybe after the sun goes down, who knows? But I think Teresa, for you also, it's I think the rest of you have all been to Waterdeep quite a few times or are from here. Teresa, I think the one thing you notice is almost every couple minutes it seems like there are watchmen that walk by, and not in an unfriendly way, but Waterdeep seems quite heavily patrolled compared to, say, Baldur's Gate or some of the other big cities you've been to. And it does have a reputation for being a very generally peaceful city outside of random events that happen, or sieges.
There's actually be quite refreshing to her to see a level of control in the streets.
Lolly agrees with that.
Oh, but I was really hoping that someone would try to pickpocket the 8-foot tall centaur.
Right now, you're not an 8-foot tall centaur. You're a hooded man.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I do see my character image.
I've got your image, just not the token, and when I try to do too many split tasks at the same time, I forget the ability to speak. Sorry. So I just wanna. I know where the files are. I got Liz set up. I was kind of surprised when you said you were coming, so I didn't prep your token.
I'm surprised too. I didn't expect the person to hire me to have fucking COVID, so I was like, well, I'm not going.
I also have no idea where you are.
That's okay.
Because I guess you would have been with the party the whole time. So there you go. You're just here. You just haven't said much.
She didn't say a whole lot. Like, even last time, I think her last interaction was trying to feed Withers some cake, and he was being very stubborn about it.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He looks like skin and bones.
Mostly bones.
But he's got a hell of a mask. Yeah, so any other business in the alley that anybody wants to do?
No.
Nah, not right now. Right now I'm kind of poor, so there isn't much for me to buy. Maybe is there a place that sells healer kits?
If you're poor,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I said, if you're poor, I still have the 3,900 silver and 1,300 gold. I think that I had last recorded. If you want to use that, go for it.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting to record my money. I should have more, but it's like whatever.
If you look at the party loot token under the characters, that has all of the gold and items that you left Schult with.
Sorry, where's that?
It's under the characters, under players. There should be a party loot icon. I think everybody has access.
See party.
Oh, let me.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Well, so as we're wandering through the alley, is there a roll that I could make to determine if I can pick out any illicit financial services? So, like bookies, or like maybe try and see if I can notice like a pickpocket, or basically anyone who is getting money in a not 100% legal way. From my experience as a investigator, like, is there anything that I could roll for that?
You could do perception, I guess, to see if you notice anybody doing anything suspicious or subterfugery that's not good. I just made a word up. Skullduggery? There we go. Skullduggerous. I mean, I think as you wander around, the only really weird thing that sticks out to you, I'm assuming you're kind of like scoping out the whole alley around here. is so down where it says T7, there is a sewer grate, and it does look like, most sewer grates, if people don't open them, they build up gunk and crap around them, and they just kind of blend in, right? This sewer grate definitely looks like it has been opened recently. It is kind of, you can tell that it would very easily come out. How, why, or who did it, you don't know, but definitely looks like somebody opened that grate recently.
Okay. Good to know.
But as far as like most of all of the people that you see here seem to be doing legit business. Like most of these houses, besides the shops I've specifically called out, and a couple empty buildings, or that appear to be empty, everything else is basically looks like somebody's house.
Okay.
Healer's kits. You could probably pick up a healer's kit from Corlon's Crown, the Apothecary. I don't think that would be a crazy stretch. It's in her wheelhouse.
Yeah, I will. I'll pick up a kit because just in case.
Oh, I guess as a point of order, I dumped all the loot just on party loot because I had no idea who had what or why. So, yeah. I basically went through the entire tomb, tallied up all the loot that I knew you guys had actually taken, and threw it into party loot.
That's fine. I do have a list of things that I have here.
So I guess if there's specific things on that list that you got in the tomb, I would just take it off and put it in your inventory, but kind of leave it up to you guys to figure out how you want to pool or not pool those resources. And healer's kit, I can give you one of those. How much are those even worth? 5 gold. That's how much they cost. Breaking the bank. I threw one in your inventory.
All right, thank you.
Got all those spellbooks. I was gonna say all your spellbooks are probably worth a pretty penny.
I think they're like 15 gold.
The spellbooks that have spells in them?
Oh no, just a blank spellbook. But spellbooks that have spells in them. If there's some, send them my way.
They're at the bottom of your inventory sheet.
Oh yeah, those are the ones from the Red Wizards. Okay.
So those ones, the ones at the bottom are the ones that you got from the library in the end of the tomb. So some of those spellbooks are actually worth a heck of a lot of money, but you'd have to find a buyer for them.
Oh, I'm gonna keep these because I want to copy them.
Just letting you know, if you find yourself in need of money. Okay. Gibbles, do you want to do anything in particular?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Xanthiel, are you just...
I can't roll or do anything because I don't control my character.
Oh. That's... Really?
Yep. I control a token called Lauken, but that's about it. It doesn't have any stats.
Okay, now you should own Xanthiel. You should have access to party loot, and you should own Xanthiel.
Let's see. Can't roll anything, but I do see the sheet.
Are you trying to roll from D&D Beyond?
No, from
Oh.
what do you call it? Well, I did then, but like I'm trying to roll from Forge, but I don't. You know how like there's usually a skills and things like that up the top.
Oh, that's only if you're highlighting a token, because there's no token on the map.
Yeah. Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, but it should work from the sheet. Here, let's just try it. Hey, now it's actually giving you a face. Try now. Just see
Yep,
if we've got
that's
these.
it.
Cool. Okay.
Thank you.
You save against, I guess, the bustle of the city.
Sweet. So I now that I own the city, I guess we'll have to rename it. I don't really know of any good edgy names, but
Harbor Vast.
yeah, that'll do.
Okay. So I think, is there anything you wanted to do in the alley?
I would try to like look for a smith shop and buy plate armor if possible.
So there is a smith down at T3. Let me get there. The name of it is Steam and Steel. As you walk in, basically this is a forge built into the ground floor, and so basically half of this building is just a forge with a roof over its head, to let all of the gas and heat and steam come out. There are a pair of very colorful individuals working. One of them working at some fine detail on a sword. Another one working a piece of metal in the forge and beating it. The individual working the piece of metal is a large fire ganassi, and his partner appears to be a water ganassi. So a little bit of an opposites attract situation here. As you walk in, they take a look at you, and the woman, the water ganassi, waves and says, "Hello. Can I help you? Are you looking for anything? We've got arms and armor."
Well, that's great. I would love to buy some plate armor if possible. It's not exactly easy to find plate armor in my size, but I was hoping you could help me out on that.
She looks you up and down, and she says, "Well, we can definitely get the chest piece done for you. We can get that." She looks over on one of the walls. There's a couple of different finished sets of armor. She gestures at him, but as you can tell, I think the legs and the body, if you will, those are going to be a custom order. We can get started on it if you want to put a down payment on, but we don't have anything off the shelf for your particular your build, if you will. No offense meant.
Now I get all offended and like start huffing now. Let's see. Yeah, how much would that be? And I would also like it, if possible, for it to be enchanted.
Well, we can definitely help you out with the armor itself. And the fire ganassi goes, "We don't do the magic, but we can get you the armor." And the price would end up being, let's see if I can figure this out. Plate. So full plate. Oh my god, there's so many plate items. Full plate.
I think it might be fine anyway, because I already have full plate. I just was looking if they could, or knew anyone who could enchant it, I guess.
Avi says, "Well, we could start doing the work on the plate and reach out. I can get back to you. It might take us a few days. We most of the folks who buy the really fancy stuff go to the mages for that, but we know some people. I just have some conversations. So if you give me a couple of days, is there a good way to get in touch with you, or do you want to come back?"
Depends. I'll admit I'm not 100% caught up. Is the group like staying in this area roughly, or
You guys own location T1.
ah?
Yeah, that's Troll Skull Manor, a multi-level house / former inn that is in poor shape now, but you guys own it and can do what you want with it.
Turn it into a paddock. Got it.
Yeah, I think the entire last, if you look, I just finally got caught up on videos. The last session was
Oh, sweet.
a couple of people just exploring the house. And I think Volo is gonna find some guild representatives to come talk to you guys about getting it fixed up a bit. So yeah.
As long as we shield books room, got it. Yeah, well, that would be good. I live, well, I'll just tell them where, I guess where, where we live now.
Oh, you got the manor,
Yes.
huh? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, sure. I can swing. We can swing by. And Embrick, the fire ganassi, just kind of goes, Hope you guys take better care of it than the other owners did.
Well, that is the hope.
And
How much will they require for a down payment?
well, let me make some connections, especially since you're right there. I know where to find you. So let me have some discussions because I think. Do you know what kind of enchantments you want on this plate?
Mostly just to make it stronger and so it won't get destroyed instantly if someone casts Disintegrate on it.
Okay, okay. I'll reach out to a few people and I'll get back to you. I'll either come around or I guess I'll leave a note for you if you guys aren't there.
Cool, sounds good. Thank you very much.
And as you head out, Avi says, you can hear her saying to Embrick as you couldn't kill you to be a little nicer, especially if they own that place.
I totally heard that with my fucking ridiculous passive perception, and then I run back in and kick the door down. No, I'm kidding. I will rejoin the party, I guess, or try to. Just stomp around confused.
You're gonna have to get horseshoes. You're gonna have to find the guild of barriers to protect your tender feet, hooves. Does anybody else have anything they want to do here?
Nope.
Nope.
Cool.
I don't think Lolly really needs anything.
Potions at the end.
No, I mean he'll go talk to everybody. We don't need to waste everyone's time with that.
What happened to role playing? What's wrong with you?
Look, the question is, how many sessions can you go without me having to do a roll for initiative? I'm kind of seeing it as a challenge right now, but anyway.
Do we know if there's an enchanter anywhere nearby? Well, we haven't met up. They haven't met up with Liz yet, right?
Well, you went into the inn. I guess I'm trying to figure out when I push time forward, basically. Because I know you're all supposed to meet back together, get close to sundown. So I want to give people time to do anything that you could reasonably do in, like, a couple hours. So if you're looking for an enchanter, there are definitely enchanters in the city. Not in Troll Skull Alley necessarily. Most.
Are there in this ward though at all?
Let's see. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm assuming that there probably are. Is there a particular enchantment you're looking for? Or are you just trying to find a general enchanter?
Yeah, just a general enchanter. I was just curious. Not that I'm necessarily going to go because I don't think I want to walk. I don't want to walk all the way there, all the way back.
Yeah,
but I am curious if there is any because I might go on my way home.
Yeah, so the North Ward actually is mostly so where you guys are, as I'm looking it over a little bit more. The North Ward, I can pop this up just to show you guys, for those who don't know where the house is. I don't know where the map's showing up for you guys, but in the northeast side of the city, there's a house and many tokens for people. Not everybody, so let me flip some other tokens out just so everybody can see things. So I think for everybody who wasn't here the other time, you guys have Troll Skull Manor as denoted by the silly looking little house icon next to all of your tokens. And so this kind of northern quadrant down to the market area, kind of in the about a third of the way down the city. That's the North Ward. Most of the North Ward is taken up. It's mostly taken up by residential housing and small shops. I think for serious enchanting services, most people in Waterdeep go to one of the many magical academies in the city. There is the Blackstaff Academy that I have already told you about, but there are also a couple others. And I'm going to go there. So there's also the El Torchel Academy. There is an enclave of Thayan wizards. And there's also a Bardic Education Center called New Alamn that you may find enchanting services there, or you may just find... it's kind of like it's a Bardic school that is also kind of like the community college for mages of the city. It's the best way to put it. Like, the who's who of the city, the most high-powered magic users of an arcane bent are going to be associated either with the Blackstaff Academy, the El Torchel Academy, or the Thayan Enclave. So if you're looking for enchanting services, that's usually the first stop, one of those three places, depending on how much you want to pay and how long you want to wait.
Okay.
350.
There, I will tell you, I have not memorized every single numbered location on this map.
What?
Yeah, there's about
Are those
350 of them. I have not memorized them.
dollar signs?
So each ward has a different prefix. So like you guys, what you can't see on this map is all the black space has the name of every single location on this map. So all of the N's are the North Ward. All of the dollar signs are, I want to say it's the C Ward. The Castle Ward starts with C. City of the Dead starts with CD. The Trade Ward starts with T. Dock Ward starts with D. And then the South Ward starts with S. And
Would the C ward start with C?
City of the Dead, I heard. The fuck?
so the City of the Dead is a combination park and graveyard.
Oh, so it's not like the Sirac second home. Cool.
No. It's
Scared me a little bit there, Group.
it's also
It'll
where
be just a stroll in the park. That's okay.
Yeah, it's true. We already killed him once.
Is there anybody in Troll Skull that like I might know of that might have more information about just general like undead? Because I feel like Liz doesn't really know a lot about undead, so she wants to kind of get some idea of what she's dealing with.
I think your hunch, since you're usually not in the city, would be to seek out probably priests or clerics. I'm not sure if Liz would be inclined to go to any of the arcane schools to learn more. And Teresa.
Yeah, ask the necromancer or the cleric in
Yeah.
your party.
Yeah, you do have a cleric and a necromancer. So
Already yet? I just asked
Yeah.
him for a favor.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm just being a dick.
It's all right. Then I'll do the nerd wizard talking for you guys.
The nerd wizard talking.
give me that's actually Bigby's forceful hand that you're trying to cast there. No.
Actually,
They made Vecna the villain of Stranger Things season 4, so there's
I
that.
heard about that. I was
What?
curious about that. Because
Yeah.
Vecna is from Greyhawk, right?
Vecna's from everything now. Vecna's like a Sirac. He's multiplanar.
Yeah, because Vecna is the god of necromancy.
Vecna's something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a lich, but yeah.
He was a lich that became a god.
Ah,
So basically, he's the focused version of a Sirak. A Sirak is just like the Joker version. It's like
I know one of his domains is magic and evil wizards and necromancy.
I'm not sure if Vecna is a going thing in this canon that we have here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
No, he's not in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah. Well, he is in the new Doomed Forgotten. You know what? I'm going to stop. So they're releasing a Doomed Forgotten Realms book. Not Wizards of the Coast, but somebody else just released it. And it's literally like if every campaign in 5th edition ended the bad way. And that's the world you live in.
Oh,
I kind of want to get it just to see how ridiculous it
What?
is. Yeah, so like imagine Tomb of Annihilation, Asirak wins. Imagine I don't know how Dragon Heist ends badly per se. I guess, there's ways that could happen, but like I should shut up. I don't want to spoil every campaign. Never mind. I'll stop talking. Let me tell you how every campaign in this game can fail. Yeah. So imagine the Death God is just like chilling down in Schultz, slowly pulping the world into nothingness. Anyway, so back to the question about undead. I think your main hunch, Liz, would be to, probably talk to a priest or a cleric, especially if it's like natural undead. You might feel like you're natural undead. I'm gonna shut up. That doesn't make sense right now.
Well, you can make the distinction of undead that rise on their own, and except for those that are getting help by force.
Like your revenants and your poltergeists versus your zombies and your vampires.
Yeah, like a revenant will manifest on its own.
Yeah.
Which we probably should be very careful if we run into revenants. They're not fun.
I ran into a revenant in my campaign the other day. That was fun.
You're very hard to kill.
We didn't fight him. We talked to him. It was shocking. We talked to the revenant.
Shocking.
But let's see here. Which domain am I looking for? Is that not a standard domain? Okay, fine. If you wanted to like go straight to the source of people who know a lot about raising undead, you might want to look for temples to Shar or Miracle, although I don't think either of them have an open presence in the city. If there's
Out of character, I know who they are, but in character, would Teresa be familiar with how they operate?
well, I mean, it's so I think most people would know like Shar is goddess of darkness, basically. Merkel is the god of undeath. And they're both evil.
Miracle is part of the Dead Three.
Yeah. So you would know a decent amount about Merkel. I think everybody would know of these names. I think most people in Plate Company don't talk about Shar or Merkel very much. They, at least in Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate, don't have open temples really. You're not gonna find a temple of Shar necessarily in nice polite society. A temple of Kalumvor, who would be very opposed to the undead. There's definitely a temple of Kalumvor if you wanted to go talk to them, but Kalumvor's and their followers' stance on undead is to just destroy them, as most other temples of gods tend to be.
how far are they away?
Kalumvor, I don't know where the temple of Kalumvor is. It's somewhere. I don't off the top of my head know where the Temple of
Okay,
Kalumvor
we'll
is.
just say it's too far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have to read this map a lot more, or just start making
Is it
stuff
along
up.
the way, you think?
I mean, there's usually priests and clerics of most of the gods in the City of the Dead if you get there before nightfall.
Ooh, okay. I want to do.
Doing their business, right? So, like, tending to graves of their faithful fallen, helping oversee ceremonies for anybody being interred, or whatever. So if you go down to the City of the Dead before night falls, before they close the gates to the public, there's a very good chance you'll run into any cleric you want of the good and neutral deities, mostly.
Okay, then I definitely want to do that. So I'm going to head back to what time of the day is it now? I imagine it's about that time.
This is probably 5 o'clock or so.
All right, I'm going to hustle over to Troll Skull Manor to try and meet up with them to see if we can boogie down there as fast as possible. And if possible, get a carriage down there, because how far is it to walk? Probably a good little ways.
Probably take you like 15 minutes to walk there.
Oh, okay.
That's not too bad.
That's not horrible.
It's
I thought
not-
it would take
It's
longer.
not a huge city. Like, if you look at the scale of the city, it's about a mile wide and about 3 miles north to south at the most. I may be overestimating that. But it's a big medieval city. It's not Manhattan. If that makes sense.
It's a terrible place anyway.
Like,
Uh,
the buildings that you see on the map are actually approximately the size of the buildings. Like, this is not like abstracted.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna try and go over to a Troll Skull Manor and find them.
I mean, to be fair, Ollie's going to be looking for her like the whole time, just kind of like gazing around.
I'd say at a certain point you see her. Like, it's not a big alley. If you're just standing in the middle, you can see each other all walking around.
Yeah.
Plus, that's what I was going to say. I was just going to say that Lolly would be like, "Oh, Liz, there you are. Oh, well, I do believe that everyone is here, and this is our friend Teresa, who has agreed to come with us. Who has a very interesting, and I'm not quite sure how deep. She tried to explain it to me at one point, and I didn't quite understand. Let's just say abiding interest in the undead. So I figured that she would be a good source for you to get some information in your City of the Dead, and I was looking forward to having us all head down there soon, hopefully.
And then Liz will just say, "Very nice to meet you. Maybe we should go ahead and head down there now so we can see if there's any priest or anybody else who maybe has more information about exactly what's going on and if they have more info on the happenings and more reports." I assume he's informed you of what's going on.
Well, I did tell her about that there was undead in the City of the Dead, but that's really all I remembered. So yes, I believe that yes, we should all figure it out together because it sounds like there is definitely an issue which needs to be investigated.
Lolly's on the case.
He'll have like that excited little glint in his eye because he just loves like investigating things.
Is your hand like slowly twitching towards your notebook?
Mine?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Lolly's is, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
And then,
meant.
and then he has the endless ink, so he's ready to roll, man.
It's Teresa in the background, just like, great.
Okay, so do you guys you walk down there or hire a carriage? Either is very easy to do.
Yeah, who wants to walk?
I guess Anthea will walk because despite as funny as it would be for her to go into a carriage, I don't think that'd be a good idea.
Just cut out the roof or something. That's fine.
Ah.
And you can pull the cart.
Yeah, I could, but
Oh my
jump on,
god,
Jen.
that'd be hilarious.
Oh no, my spell book's gone.
Okay, well, I guess most of you grab a carriage, and Xanthiel, you trot
Just
beside.
walks next to it.
I mean, basically, that's what happens. You get to go. What is this called? Whalegond? Whalegond? That's a weird word. Whalegond Way to Suldown Street. The carriage asks which gate you want to enter the City of the Dead at. There's 4 gates to get in. There's a north, top, middle, top, west, and south gate. And I think, Liz, what you do know, I've marked 3 Ankhs on the map. Those are the 3 locations that the Enclave had indicated that there had been weird things happening, people reporting strangeness in the past. Either thinking they saw undead or hearing strange things in the crypts and stuff like that. Not much on details, but those are known locations where people have reported stuff happening.
Perfect. And that's where, like, I want to go to the one the most north. That's the closest to us.
Sure.
Kind of like looks like we just roll right up to that anyway.
Sure. So yeah, you guys hop out of the carriage, and you find yourselves standing before. Waterdeep's a big city. Doesn't always smell good. It's pretty crowded, pretty bustling, and you notice there's about a 10-foot high wall that surrounds the City of the Dead. That just kind of goes off in every direction, and the gates are nice, ornate iron gates. Currently, they're open. There's city watchmen kind of standing by the entrance, just saying hello to people as they come and go, but just kind of also keeping an eye on things. And the wall and the gates don't look like they're necessarily meant to repel like serious trespassing, but you would have to put some effort into climbing over the wall itself. And the gates look pretty sturdy once they're closed. But beyond the gates, it's very serene. From the vantage point that you have at the northern gate, you can see into just a like I had alluded to before. The City of the Dead is a beautiful combination of both a park and final resting place for anybody in the city who can afford or arrange to be interred there. And it looks very beautiful and peaceful, with many large crypts, but just as many small, well-tended headstones and monuments kind of laid out before you through the gate.
Okay, is there anybody around there we can talk to, or is it just us?
Well, I mean, there's the guards. There are people, civilians, clerics, are slowly, like, in pairs or in groups. It looks like there's one probably funeral group leaving the city as well. But so there's a steady but slow trickle of people walking out of the gate, and the watchmen are all just kind of saying goodnight to them, and wishing people a good evening. But yeah, there's the watchmen. There's various folks coming out. Like I said, maybe about a third of them look like they are of various religious bents with various symbols from whatever god you can think of. If there's anyone in particular you're trying to grab, you can definitely find a cleric of a given god or whatnot if you want to. As you're kind of at that shift change. you're at closing time for the City of the Dead, so all the people that were in there are making their way out. Lolly, what are you percepting?
I was trying to see if there's anybody like potentially trying to hide or stay out of view specifically, but yeah, I definitely don't see anything. So never mind.
When rolls take care of themselves.
Yep.
So back to Liz. Is there anyone in particular you want to try and grab as clergy and lay
Yeah,
folk are coming up?
right. I forget the last one that you listed off, but if I saw any clerics from, I forget the god that you listed off at the end, but
Kalumvor, also
Kel-
known. Kalumvor is the Lord of the Dead and Judge of the Damned, which sounds really intense. But just for some context, Kalumvor took over for the previous gods of death, and unlike the previous ones that were all evil gods, Kalumvor is a neutral god who basically just believes that death is a natural part of the circle of life. And you should respect life and respect death, and things that are dead should stay dead. And that's also a very pretty serious tenet of the church.
I definitely want to talk to them.
Yeah. So you see the symbols of Kalumvor are a pair of scales. So the robe you see kind of a slightly older man in simple robes of kind of a dark gray with a purple scale emblazoned on them that you would recognize as the scales of Kalumvor making his way out.
Hello, sir.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
Yes, so we've gotten some reports of issues happening here in the City of the Dead, and I was wondering if you've heard any of those same reports.
There have been some troubling rumors that I have heard, but most of them have been, people saying they've heard things or thought they saw something out of the corner of their eye. There were some kids that said they saw zombies walking around a few weeks ago, but there's always kids saying there's zombies walking around the City of the Dead. But there's definitely been, some more serious reports of people hearing things from inside a crypt or two. The Watch hasn't asked me to come do any particular sacraments, so I haven't really followed up on it much. And he looks at the group of you and says, "You don't seem like teenagers, so maybe if there is something, you'll have a better chance at dealing it than some kids would. I hope that's helpful."
So it seems to be mostly in the crypts.
Well, like I said, most of the rumors, except for, the kids, has been people hearing things, right? And so, I think there was one rumor that there was some sarcophagi that somebody said they thought they heard sounds coming from. There was a crypt to the south that I think one lady said she thought she heard moaning from. Nobody went in, and I haven't, but that's what I've heard so far.
Lolly will ask, can you name any specific people or groups who you could think of who have spoken of these noises?
I'm afraid I don't know the names. I know roughly where they say. I mean, these aren't direct reports to me. It's more, we priests talk. But and he describes the two locations, the sounds from sarcophagi and the scratching in the crypt. The sounds from the sarcophagi, Liz kind of mapped to the northernmost location that was indicated. The moans from a crypt are coming. We're down in the southwest corner, probably kind of roughly mapping to where that westernmost Ankh is. So he's able to kind of confirm from two of the locations that you already knew that the rumors and reports of stuff happening there, that's where it happened. But as far as like specific names, he doesn't have any. It's more priests talking to priests. And so like names aren't necessarily making it on that chain.
I'll just ask, would you be able to show us to one of these locations? You are obviously much more familiar with the area than we are, and we would greatly appreciate your help and guidance in this time.
Oh, well, he looks at the sun starting to get real close to the horizon over the wall and walks over to one of the watchmen, and I think Liz, the watch knows that you're supposed to be coming with yourself or maybe some other people. The priest walks over to one of the watchmen and says, I've been asked by these intrepid fellows here. They want to investigate some of the rumors and asked me to help them find some of the locations. Is there any problem if we linger a bit past sundown? And the officer of the watch at the gate looks over and looking at all of you, and then Liz sees the badge on your outfit for the Emerald Enclave and goes, "Oh, are you the one from the Enclave that was supposed to be coming today?"
Yes, that's me.
Okay. Yeah, sure, Father. Not a problem. I guess we'll hang around after we close the gates. We'll stay on the outside because those are the rules. But I guess if anything comes up, give a shout. But we'll keep someone here to let you back out. But try not to take too long, okay? We're supposed to be at end of shift.
We don't plan to.
Are you persuading Lolly?
I thought I would have to persuade the priest.
Oh, he's amiable. I mean, he doesn't seem all that worried, I guess, is maybe the best thing. Like, he's just like, oh, okay, these people want to find out where the rumors are coming from. I'll take them.
Before we go in, and I'm going to. Well, let's see. We'll see if you let me grab. I was going to cast guidance on everybody.
How long does guidance last?
Oh, it's only a minute, so never mind.
I was going to say, I don't think it's going to take you a minute just to walk to the first place.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was just a minute. Yep, never mind. I take it all back.
Okay. Yeah, you cast guidance on everybody, and you're all real sure that the way into the cemetery is through the gate. Sorry. Bad. Not good joke. It was funnier in my head. Okay. But yeah, so the sun is starting to peak down below the horizon, and the last people have left. The guards gesture if you guys want to go in, they would like to at least close the gate to keep up with the regulations on everything.
Okay.
Can I ask the guards if they have somebody that they could have escort us as well?
Sure, why not? Yeah, one of the guys says the guy you talk to looks over to the other guard and says, "You know what? Go for it. I'll give you an hour of overtime, but that's it."
Oh, why? Thank you so much for coming with us. It's just a little scary in here at night.
You guys are loaded for bear. You've got a priest and a guard. I don't even have tokens for them. I'm gonna have to make that up if it matters. Fair enough.
Out of game really quick. I got to do my best to compete with Sebastian over here, right?
Gonna recruit everybody. Yeah, I mean, if you try to recruit every person you meet, we're gonna spend the whole game with me just going to fantasy name generator and just like coming up with new people. You're not gonna have enough room in Troll Skull. So the sergeant waves you. Go ahead.
She said it's a big place.
It is. You're just gonna have to figure out how to make enough money to own the whole thing so you can house all your followers.
That's easy. That's what they're for. Work.
I do have mechanics for about how you become a Lord of Waterdeep, so I guess if you really want to go down that path, we can figure it out. But it's not easy.
Right.
Well, you brought it up, so.
You know, the first thing I did when I did Waterdeep was like, how do you become a Lord of Waterdeep, and like literally mapped out how that would actually have to happen. I don't know if it's actually possible. I'm sure it is. It's possible. Plausible is maybe the better question. So the sergeant waves you and the other guard in. I'm going to call him Corporal Colon for anybody who gets the reference. If not, your loss. So you've got Corporal Colon and, let's say Father Inolds. That's a good name. And
Yay, random name generator. Woo!
Yeah, but you know what? It works because I actually had it open so I could do it pretty quickly in case I need to know who these people are. I just need a note somewhere. That thing, this thing. Okay. Corporal Colon and Father Inolds. I have just created 2 NPCs. Don't mind me pulling back the curtain while I take notes. Okay. So you go in, the sergeant closes the gate behind you. He kind of loosely wraps the chain around it, but doesn't lock it. Just saying, like, I mean, just in case, if you have to get out quickly, I guess just try not to take too long, please. And then Father Inolds begins walking down the path and says, well, I can take you to the first location that I know of the 2. If you'd like to follow me.
That would be wonderful. I'll start following him.
So it's about 500 feet in on some twisting pathways. You guys come to... Hey, here we go. Boom. Oh, you know what I should have done?
No.
What I should have done, give me 1 second, was copied your tokens before I changed the scene. There we go. And here we go. No, go to the right one. Okay. So yeah, the map's set for nighttime, so there you go. So as you kind of get closer, he points out there's a crypt with a few graves by it and a few very old sarcophagi at the end, and he kind of walks up to where the path comes to and says, so the rumor was that those sarcophagi over there had scraping sounds coming from them. I can't say I've lifted the lid off of any, but...
Is the map supposed to be all black? And all I can see is my token, and it looks like Joe can only see my token, too.
Well, we can just turn that off and do that. Did that work? Hey! It's a map.
It's a map.
Hopefully that makes more sense.
A lot more sense, because it was just black before.
It defaults to always having it be token vision and no light, so oops. But yeah. So there's so basically there is a pathway leading up to some older sarcophagi. That pathway switchbacks and leads up in total about 7 or 8 feet to that crypt on the top of the map. So there's a slight elevation change. There you go.
So they said there was possibly scratching from underneath these things, was it?
Yeah, so those are sarcophagi, so those are big, heavy stone lids on top of the
How heavy are
sarcophagi.
the lids?
For you, not heavy. You're just gonna throw a lid open. Just gonna walk up and just
Like respectfully, she's not gonna like just smash it or anything like that. But yeah, like try to, I don't know, enough to like have a look.
yeah. So you kind of grind the lid off, and Father Kalumvor and the guard are like, oh. Father Kalumvor is just kind of like, oh my. Father Kalumvor, Father, words are stop. Father Inold, the priest of Kalendor, is a little taken aback, but kind of calms himself down because you are, in fact, investigating undead. The guard seems a little upset, but y'all are supposed to be here, so what's he going to do? So as you open
Put
it,
it on his report card.
put on his report, yeah. You gave a failing grade for not disturbing the dead. As you slide that open, there is a bit of a weird smell coming from inside. Do you open it further?
I beckon to our investigator buddy here, Mister. Is it Lolly? Yeah.
Holy, yep.
Yeah, there's a strange smell coming from this one. Not one that I would assume someone who has been dead for some time to be giving off usually.
Okay, well, so yeah, Lolly would definitely be familiar with bodies in various stages of decomposition. Um, so I guess should I do an investigation check, see what I can learn from it, or
No, so I think that the three of you as you come up, so Lolly, what you notice here, the scent that's coming, so yeah, like you said, you've been around quite a few dead and recently dead and not so recently dead bodies, and the smell that is coming out of, and I'm assuming that the crypt is just slightly, or the sarcophagus is just kind of cracked right now. Like the way I'm kind of imagining it, like Xanthiel's, that as you push it open, kind of a smell came up from it and you stopped. If that's
it's
okay.
like not all the way open, but
Yeah.
like say a third is showing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a crack is showing, so it's dark in there. You can see some shapes, but so the smell that's coming out of it doesn't smell like a rotting body, and I would say for Lolly, you don't really. This is a new smell for you in the context of dead bodies. Liz, I think you would. It almost smells like mushrooms or fungus or something, but not one you've ever placed before, even in all of your kind of traveling around in the wild places of the world. But there's definitely a pungent smell that just kind of like seats itself in all of your noses and kind of is almost like the smell is almost like crawling back into your throat. It's strong. It's not unpleasant, but it's definitely intense coming out of this sarcophagus.
Okay.
Well, something's clearly going on, and Xanthiel will gesture to both the priest and the guard. You can smell that, right? Like that's not something's happened here.
And the guard says, well, better than the drunk smell in the tank on a Sunday morning, but not something I'd want to take home with me. And the priest is just kind of now seems to be getting kind of agitated, not at you guys, but just frustrated that something is happening in the graveyard. Like you get the impression that he thought this was all people being silly.
Just rumor mill.
Yeah, just the rumor mill, and so he walks over as well. Just imagine that there's a guard and a priest token here for now, because I don't want to try and make tokens on the fly. But yeah, Father Arnold kind of comes up and says, I hate to say it, but maybe we should open that the rest of the way and find out how to put this person back to rest.
Fair, and she will do so.
So as you the lid off, so the corpse in this sarcophagus is very old. It was probably just bones until recently. And it looks like it has been overgrown with a kind of a fungus that has a lichen that has a deep purplish red in kind of underneath, and then is blossoming into a very verdant green, and kind of little mushroom ledges are starting to grow off of the growths on the body. And as your eyes are adjusting to the light, you can see every once in a while, like one of the new lichen bone fingers will kind of twitch, or the body will just kind of give weird little movements or twitches. It's not reacting to you guys per se, but it's definitely being animated by this lichen or this fungus or whatever it is.
Well, that's just downright unsettling.
This is
No.
far beyond anything I have seen. I have no knowledge of something that could do this.
Uh,
Let's see. I just wanted to see if I had maybe any clue or insight into it at all. Kind of a middle of the road.
Yeah, I'll say this fungus looks like some weird, like I said. So now taking a look at this growth all over the body, it's vaguely familiar to some cave funguses you've seen, but again, like the smell, you can't place the actual growth that's here, you can't place, like and obviously it's growing on a corpse. So, a bit strange. But if you had to place a bet, you'd probably guess that this is some sort of cave lichen or cave fungus of some sort. If you had to, but you wouldn't be super certain that you'd be right.
could I do a medicine check to see if it was like close to the effect that it's having on the body?
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell him what I know of. Like, I think this is. It looks like some kind of cave fungus, but I'm not 100% sure.
That was certainly a 2.
I'm
I'll
gonna
give it a
say
try too.
as far as medicine goes, they're dead. Like,
Sweet.
it's like, as you look at this
I don't
doesn't.
think they made it.
Yeah.
I don't think you can heal this body.
Well, that'd technically be incorrect because I have restoration.
Aren't there criteria around
Let's see
restoration?
if I can take a look at this
There it
here.
is. Depends on how long.
I'm pretty sure this person's been dead too long.
Yeah, probably.
Like,
Oh, I don't know. The 7th level one is like 100 years, I think. So
yeah, the date on the sarcophagus is like
yeah, heaps.
a long
I
time
can't use
ago.
7th level
Yeah.
spells anyway, so
Yeah.
if it's more than like 2 weeks,
Okay.
that's kind of the question.
So did you hear the description of what's going on, Teresa?
Yeah, there's a strange unidentified mold around the coffins here.
Yeah, growing on the corpse inside this coffin, and the corpse is occasionally like slightly twitching and moving.
First thing I will do is do an Arcana check to determine if there's any necromantic magic.
Do you want to just do detect magic, or do you want to do Arcana?
I probably will do both.
Okay.
But yeah, I will use a spell slot to cast Detect Magic. I
So is it-
cannot roll anything on my sheet. Do I have ownership of my sheet?
You should, but let me check.
Do we have like the basically wide open now?
Yeah, it's open. Let me just check everybody's sheets for ownership, because no, you did not have ownership of your. You did not have ownership of your sheet. I don't know why. I'm assuming everybody else does because they moved themselves.
Yeah, we did.
Cool. I think you have detect magic, don't you?
Yeah, I'm instant casting it.
Okay. Let's see. So yeah, there is a faint aura of necromantic magic kind of suffusing the corpse and the mold. And if you wanted to do an Arcana check to see if you can like work out if you know what the
Yeah, I
spell
will.
is or whatever. Yeah.
Because this is kind of bringing memories back of the mold thing from the jungles that was controlling the dwarf bodies.
Oh, that's right. Callbacks.
Yeah, the mold that kept trying to attack me.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. So it definitely doesn't seem to be that same that was the yellow creeper vines, I think. So those the creeper vines in Schult, those were definitely on the plant side of the divide, and seem to almost operate more on a biological method. This is definitely let's see. So let's see. You're you're pretty sure some sort of caster is behind this. Like the spell itself, the feelings you're getting off of it are not. It's almost like a mix of the arcane magic that you know well, but it also feels like it feels like something you would expect out of a druid as well. Like there's a tinge of kind of that natural magic to it, and you can't really place it. It doesn't fall under a spell that you've specifically heard of or know of or studied before. But if you had to bet, this is some hybrid of arcane and druidic learning doing this.
So I do tell the party that this kind of seems odd. It's not quite fully arcane. There may be some natural magic involved here. If I were to wager a guess, it is very likely to involve this mold here covering the body. Now, does anyone object to setting it on fire?
No, I'm good with that.
No, we can do that.
Nope. Go for it.
Xanthiel, I guess, would prepare a torch.
Father Inold walks over to the head of the grave and chants a quick prayer over the corpse, and then nods to a lot of you and says, "Not how I'd prefer to do this, but you should probably end this now."
This is just out of personal experience dealing with the quote unquote evils of Chult. Fire is very, very useful.
Just because Lolly's curious, he's going to ask the priest, "What method would you use, Father?"
That fire seems pretty good to me. Normally I prefer to bury the dead, but sometimes you have to send them off another way.
Well said.
So Liz will have the ball just in her hand as we were talking about it. And then do we want to just throw the fire in there and see what happens?
Yeah, I was thinking to light the mold on fire and the corpse.
Perfect. And then she'll just hurl the ball in there.
What ball?
I put my flame
Oh.
that I have in my hand. And just throw it in there.
Okay.
And that's what I rolled.
Yeah, you toss the flame onto the corpse. Let's see, how much can this do? The flame sheds bright light. You can attack with the flame, although doing so ends the spell. Blah, blah, blah. So you light it. You light a chunk of it on fire, and the corpse kind of jerks a little bit in there. The fire burns a good, like, kind of the area it hits and the foot around it. It singes and blackens all of the mold, and the bones underneath, and that chunk of it goes still. It looks like you probably need a bit more fire to burn the whole thing. And you don't have to like roll for every one of them, but if you want to work your way through it,
cantrips. I was gonna keep chucking balls of flames.
You don't have to roll 4 times, but you can definitely produce enough fire over it to get the whole thing kind of burning down and at least reduce it to a heap of now burnt mold and charred skeleton bones. There we go.
Perfect.
And
So
go ahead.
Lolly wants to look at the cover or at the top of the sarcophagus and see if there's any signs of someone potentially meddling with it or moving it aside previously, like if there's ground or if there's chisel marks from somebody putting in a hand.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. Yeah, so looking around the edges of the lid and the lip of the sarcophagus, it doesn't appear that anybody had moved anything here recently that you can tell. So it looks, whatever did it through some means other than opening the lid and tossing something in. And Corporal Colon has come over and taken out his notepad and is just writing things down and says, "Don't mind me, just writing down what happened here because I'm sure I'm going to have to explain this one when I get back."
Liz just looks at him and then looks away. Like, she doesn't say anything, she doesn't shrug, she doesn't do anything, she just looks at him then.
Okay. Is there an intent behind that or just doing that?
No, I'm just doing that.
Okay.
It's just just whatever. Like, she just with the complete why did you? I don't care, basically.
And he nods at you and just kind of is just writing notes down on his notepad.
He is writing us up. You're getting a ticket.
And he's not writing you a ticket. He's just writing down
Illegal parking.
Priest said burn corpse. Stop.
Illegal parking of Centaur.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly.
Group of strange adventurers proceeded to burn corpse. Period. Just
put the lid back on the thing, I guess.
Okay. I guess you do so. It's maybe not graceful, but it's effective. So now there's a warm sarcophagus with a charred corpse inside of it.
Yeah, you hardly even know. I guess should let's probably no, we should probably have a look at is that a chapel sort of thing? Or not really?
It's a crypt. So these are all sarcophagi. That's a crypt. There's some just plots next to it.
Uh-huh. I guess I just didn't have enough money for good ones.
I'm tempted to get some skelly guards where there's people here.
Somehow I don't think these people would appreciate it.
I don't think so, yeah.
Well, I suppose I
Um,
could do the same thing.
You do assume that you're here to be putting undead to rest, not creating more of them. That may cross Corporal Colon's line from observer to asking you what the hell you're doing. Just because, unlicensed necromancy is generally not a popular and law-abiding thing.
Well,
There's licensed necromancy.
yeah, Raise Dead is technically necromancy.
Most healing spells are about half the healing spells are necromancy, which is fun.
yeah, that is true. And all except for one resurrection spell is necromancy.
Yeah,
And you know what that one is? That is reincarnate, which is a transmutation.
But but should it be transubstantiation?
Possibly.
Somebody gets that joke.
That somebody is not currently here.
I'm sorry. The biggest purge of heretics that the Catholic Church ever conducted as a military operation was a war between one group that thought communion wafers were transmuting, and the other group thought that they were transubstantiating. And I think they killed some 10,000 people over that.
Jeepers.
Yeah. European Christianity. So are you trotting up the ramp?
Yeah, like while I suspect that the rest of these sarcophagi are pretty much the same, I think if there are any more substantial elements of this, it would probably be in a better preserved one, like say in that crypt.
Good idea. We should check the crypt.
Why am I bothering with paths? I'm just gonna move character tokens. There's no walls on this map. Don't worry.
Okay.
Xanthil's here, so there shouldn't be any walls.
I didn't put walls on here because it seemed overkill.
You learned your lesson, walls?
Look, sometimes walls matter. Sometimes walls are just a hassle for moving people's tokens around. So you get up to the crypt door. It is currently closed.
Is it locked? Like she'll push on it gently.
As you push on the crypt door, it is kind of hard to get going, but as you give it a good put some of that equine muscle behind it, there's like a and it swings open, and you see inside there are a couple of very nice sarcophagi inside this crypt. This is a higher tier of burial place than everything else around it. Say there's a pair of very nice. It looks like it's do you have dark vision?
She does not, but her mace is always on.
Yeah,
fire.
that's right. You've got your mace. So as you push it open, you can make out on the two sarcophagi in there. It looks like this is a husband and wife that were interred together.
Aw. Well, now time's to disturb that, I guess. Lawful neutral.
Always stated saying it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just look at the priest first, I guess, for a sign of acknowledgement. And then,
Father Arnold sighs and nods. We might as well. Corporal Colon is continuing to write notes. Opened crypt door. Priest gave permission to disturb sarcophagi.
Priest gave leave to commit desecration and heresy.
Yeah. And as he finishes
Not like they'll be missed. There hasn't been anyone visiting this crypt in a while.
The Colon grunts and flips to a new page on his pad. Continues writing.
Necromancer getting uppity.
Necromancer makes comment. I'm gonna rewrite the session notes for this just as Corporal Colon's notepad.
It's the real narrator. He's just been following us this whole time.
Oh, I wish I could remember how to do Corporal Colon's voice, but I don't think I can do it right now. He becomes a recurring character. I will try to deploy his unique way of speaking.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, you go in. You're gonna open those sarcophagi up.
Yep.
So you open these up. They are desiccated skeletons. There's no mold on these ones. Yeah, these ones seem to just be dead people.
Oh, curious. Well, I'll replace the lids. Oh, actually, before I do that, I guess I'll use my. Do I notice anything with my passive perception, or will I do just active perception for that?
Oh, yours is like a 23 or something, right?
24. Yep.
No, I don't think that. Yeah, there's really nothing. You don't know. I mean, it's a crypt. These are bodies. They're in sarcophagi. You don't notice anything out of order here, as it were.
Yeah, fair enough. Huh, shit, okay. Not what I was expecting. And I'll replace the lids, I guess.
Okay.
So it must be just those other graves. So it was just those two, like, in there, right?
Yeah,
Like,
just two ornate sarcophagi inside this nice crypt.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a pretty tasteful crypt as far as those things go. Not too ostentatious, but it shows that they had money. But they had taste. They didn't make a 40-foot tall slab that just had a name on it. Anyway.
Sure, but I mean,
God, is that what you're saying?
I have a story about that.
How did I know there was a story?
My family had some friends up in Minneapolis who were both artists. One was a huge landscape installation architect, and the other one was she was a painter. And so the husband was always trying to find good stone, and there was a family in the Twin Cities, like a rich business family, and the late head of the family, when he died, had literally gotten like a 40-foot by 10-foot by 4-foot slab of marble and just had his last name carved in it and put in the graveyard on their burial area. And my family friends ended up, the rest of the family hated it because they thought it was just like the most ridiculous thing. So like 10 years after he died, they ended up contracting the architect guy to take that gravestone away. So he had to figure out how to get that gravestone out, and it ended up becoming, there's a lobby in a building in Minneapolis now that has that name is facing the inside of the wall and got turned into a waterfall feature.
Oh my god.
That's what they did with the gravestone. That's what he ended up using it for. Because it was the size of an atrium. Like like people have the waterfalls in an atrium. Yeah, so that used to be a gravestone marker. Anyway, moral of the story: if you get really rich, don't put a giant monument that just has your single name on it, because your family may desecrate your gravestone by any means possible to get rid of it. They had to like transport it across the city, and they had to like make an agreement to make sure that it was covered so that nobody would see what it was, because they didn't want anybody to know. And then he had to like hide it in his warehouse until he could figure out how to use it. It was a weird thing. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I guess I'm just at a loss. The other option, I suppose, is to check these smaller graves. But they're all like, that's just dirt plots. Like there's nothing to lift up there. It's like we'd actually have to dig. So
Yeah, you can. So for the purposes of this map, just assume that those are like flat. Like there's not like recently dug graves there. There's just headstones. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, you'd have to get out some shovels and start digging if you wanted to exhume those plots.
Well, last thing to check.
Do
make
we
sure
see
that-
any like little animals running around?
Normal stuff like there's squirrels and birds and stuff.
Why did you squirrel?
Okay, so yeah, okay.
There is not an abnormal absence of animal life here, if that makes sense.
No,
Like,
that's what she's asking for.
oh, you want to speak with animals? Okay.
Yeah, so I can find out what's. So I want to talk to a squirrel.
You're gonna make me look up the intelligence of a squirrel right now, aren't you?
Yep.
5e squirrel.
What are its hopes and dreams?
They have an intelligence of 2. Okay, fair enough. Oh,
Well, then they can't really. Well,
Yeah, I mean, armor in functions, reasonably well. So
I don't know if
I
he's
think-
that low. So you speak with animals. How many animals does this give you?
it just
Okay, so it's just for like 10 minutes you can talk to animals. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so you can pick a squirrel and ask it what you will.
I'm just gonna ask it. Have you seen things roaming at night other than yourself and your friends, or other normal things like birds?
The squirrel kind of does the thing where the squirrel like stands up and looks at you and is very shocked for a minute, like, what? Um,
And then I'll say, "I'm Liz, by the way."
and the squirrel seems confused by the concept of proper names, and says, just friends, just getting food. Don't go in city. Lots of things city, but mostly getting food that you big people
So-
leave here.
So it's been safe here,
Um,
right?
yeah. Daytime, big birds, angry birds. Stay away from those. But nighttime better.
Has there and then I'm gonna point to like the crypts, like the one we were at, and then like the other ones over there, and just kind of point.
Oh, smelly rocks.
Things ever move?
Smelly rocks make sound sometimes, but me no go smelly rocks. More smelly rocks, and it like kind of gestures south. More smelly rocks way far down that way. Socks, rocks, socks. I don't know what I'm saying. Smelly rocks down that way too, but no going smelly rocks.
What kind of sound is it? Like, oh, or is it like how I sound?
And the squirrel goes over to one of the gravestones and just kind of like drags its paw across the headstone and says, "Sound like that, not that, but like that."
Like, okay. Okay.
I love role playing animals.
And I know, see, this is fun. Okay. Are there you said that there are bad birds?
Yeah, big birds, sharp beaks, talons, eat squirrels, eat me. Stay away from them.
Only during the day, though?
Mostly day. Day, when sun go down, kind of when sun come up, but nighttime mostly safe.
Okay.
Cats,
well, thank you.
Cats bad. Don't like cats.
Cats.
Are there a lot of cats at night or during the day or anytime?
Always cats. Too many
City.
cats. City have cats. No like cats. Stay away from cats.
Okay. Well, thank you.
And the squirrel
That's
squeaks
all.
at you and kind of starts back on the path it was on.
Like, Xanthi will just grab some nuts and hardtack from her ration bag and just, like, toss them at the squirrel.
The squirrel will pick up a couple of them and run off.
Okay. Are there any
She didn't understand. She just was like, oh, a squirrel's talking.
All the rest of you heard was weird little squirrel sounds.
Are there any mice or rats or anything?
I'm sure there are, but I don't think they're. I mean, the short answer is yes, but from the perspective of like, y'all have been tromping around here.
Maybe not so much.
Yeah, any of the smaller rodents that would normally run away from people have done so. That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Is there any other animals around other than like the squirrels? Are there birds or not really? Can't see any birds.
I mean, if you climbed a tree, you could probably find some in a nest. There's some bats flitting around because it's nighttime. There's like bats doing weird bat shit in the sky like bats do.
Okay. Well, I'll sideline maybe for right now, but then I'll tell everybody that the squirrels definitely heard, scratching coming out of a lot of those sarcophagi, and then there's way more down the road.
Corporal Colon writes, Lady talked to Squirrel. Squirrel chittered back. Lady says Squirrel said more things to the south.
And that they all smell the
Doing
same way when we
amateur.
opened it.
What was that, Teresa?
I was just saying she would say to herself that whoever is doing this is quite the amateur for it to be so noticeable.
Yeah. But
Well, time to find that magical paper trail.
onwards to glory and all that, I suppose.
Lolly will just kind of be like, "That was quite the masterful interrogation of a squirrel. I never even would have thought that you could get that kind of information from such a creature. That was truly amazing to see."
Liz just says really matter-of-factly, yeah, animals can be useful.
Lolly will just kind of, evidently so. He's really just like kind of flabbergasted and amazed that such like good information came out of a squirrel.
It is amazing. Sorry, I don't know why I said that.
He also in his little notepad said, "Learn to talk to squirrels."
I'm sure there's a school for that somewhere.
Take a dip in Druid in your retirement. Pick up some new skills. Okay. Do you guys want to investigate this area anymore or do anything else here?
Well,
Lolly will just ask if anybody has a keen sense of smell.
I can.
I
I'll
can
just
see
point out-
through a great many things, but smell is not one of my strengths.
He'll just point out that that's one of the things that the squirrel said was a way to find affected graves. So
I don't know. Xanthiel has a ridiculous passive perception. Does that also count smell, or is that just by sight?
Perception should also be sense or senses.
I think perception is pretty broad. I can't say I've ever thought about. I don't think. Sure, I think it would be situational. I'm not willing to commit to your degree of scent perception because I think there are creatures that have tremor sense and other things. So some senses, yeah, generally speaking, anything a normal humanoid would sense, you're pretty good at. But
yeah, because I kind of gathered from that perk at least, or trait or whatever it is, that it seems sight based, but yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's how.
Liz can take a wild shape form into a dire wolf.
that would give you probably better scent than vision.
Oh yeah, hearing and smelling. You get keen hearing and smelling.
Cool. So,
Ollie will just when she shifts into a wolf, is just gonna look stunned, and then just kind of look around at everybody, just what the fuck is happening here? And then look at Liz and just say, "Well, you are just full of surprises, aren't you?"
Colon writes, "Lizard lady turned into wolf."
Yeah.
How long does that last? Just until you... Oh, plus 6 hours. Jesus. Okay, yeah, you're fine. You can pretty much be in wild shape forever because you probably have multiple charges of that too. Okay.
Yeah, I do. But I'm using it now so we can try and investigate a little bit better and have, the keen smelling and hearing for now.
Okay. Do you guys want to further do anything on that map, this scene, this area, these sarcophagi, crypt graves, etc.?
I guess
Not me.
you should just quickly lift up one or two more of those stone ones there to check that if they have mushrooms on them or not. If not, then replace.
Liz could just pour them, couldn't she?
Sorry.
So between a lot of you, Liz, you can smell one of them. You've got a pretty good nose now for this fungal pungence. So the far middle one also has a much lesser growth of it's like it started in on a leg, but hasn't progressed further up the corpse in that one.
Then I'll scratch that one and say it's over here, with my wolf
pull the head off, burn it. Keep going.
Wait, Lassie, you're saying there's a fungus corpse in the middle sarcophagus?
Exactly.
Yeah, so the middle sarcophagus on the far side also has, as I described.
Cool.
Wolf communicates via pawing. Stop.
Yeah.
I am probably just gonna get bored tomorrow and rewrite this whole session as Corporal Colon's notes.
Ollie will ask Xanthiel to open it.
Yeah, she does so.
And then Lolly wants to look and see, does it look like the fungus is coming in from somewhere, like from a certain spot in the ground, or is it just manifesting? Is it linked to anything, basically?
So how do you check for that?
I was thinking investigation to see if I could find a source.
I mean, more not for a roll. How do you so there's a corpse lying in its sarcophagus. Its leg has this fungus growing up it.
You said it's only on the leg, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Lolly wants to kind of look and see, from his knowledge of bodies, just okay, where does it look like this is being corrupted? Where is it wrong? And is it moving out of the body, or is it moving into the body? Is it like changing the level of decay? Is it like just basically try and figure out like if it's like moving into that grave or if it's like done with that grave and is moving out is kind of what I'm looking for.
So we've got your body in the grave. Let's give it some skeleton rib cages because that's fun. Doot. I can't give it face. So like there is a dense cluster of the lichen mold stuff down here. Like greatly overtaking the leg. Like the leg is the desiccated flesh is kind of like completely enshrouded and it looks like it's working its way up the leg. So like there's big shelf mushrooms coming off of it up here with that weird purplish greenish hue going on, and then as it's moving, it looks like it's growing up the leg, basically.
So is it disconnected from everything? Like, is it just like on the body, or is there like linkage between that and like the wall that where it could have like grown in from the wall of the sarcophagus?
So it's so densely filled in the bottom corner of the sarcophagus that you can't even see the stone of the sarcophagus.
Okay, well, that answers kind of my question. So, okay, perfect. Okay, well, Lolly will kind of stand up and say, well, I suppose we should try to destroy this before it takes the entire body.
That is true. I prescribe more fire.
Fire's good.
Oh, yeah. And Lolly's like, okay, well, does anyone have the ability to produce fire? Our druid out has the ability to do so at the moment.
I have a more mundane solution, and I can get my tinderbox and a jar of oil.
There you go.
Question, just out of character, because I do have this spell. Would gentle repose stop these things from getting up?
I think gentle repose you cast on something right after it dies to prevent it from doing like. I think gentle repose is meant to like preserve a recently dead body, right? Whoa, everything changed. That was weird. Okay, let me find. Is that a cantrip?
It is a second level spell.
Oh, second level. Okay, let me find it. Gentle repose. You touch a corpse or other remains for the duration. It is protected from decay and can't become undead. The spell also effectively extends time. So in theory, yes. Like if there was a corpse that I think the bigger issue I see there is like if something is already being converted to undead or is undead, gentle repose probably wouldn't do anything to it. But if the creature or if the corpse isn't that yet, it kind of is that making any sense? Sorry, like if you couldn't cast it on a zombie to make it stop being a zombie because it's already undead. But if you had a corpse that somebody was trying to zombify, gentle repose would protect it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
But if we combine,
I just thought about it because I was reviewing my spells. I'm like, I know that this stops things from becoming undead, but
so I guess it kind of depends. And in this case, like this one's in a weird state, right? Because like part of it is covered by this fungus, assuming that the fungus is making it undead. You would assume that it is somewhere in the process of that happening. It's an interesting question. I don't think gentle repose would work in this case because the process has already started, whatever the process is. Does that make sense?
yeah, it's basically it's a little bit too late for it.
Yeah, like if you already have a fever You can't stop the whatever. I don't know if analogies. Yeah.
Would funeral rite work? Because it says you touch one corpse, and for the next 7 days, the target can't become undead by any means short of a wish spell.
I think it's the same problem. Like,
Yeah.
the piece
If
of
it's already undead.
I think there's two pieces of information that you don't know. Just to kind of be clear, is this undead? Like, there's
Or
definitely
even becoming undead. We don't know.
yeah. Like, is this undead or something else? And has the process started or not? So you don't necessarily know the answer to either of those questions. Right now, you just know that this lichen fungus stuff made that other corpse twitch. So you can make some educated guesses, but I don't think you definitively know.
Well, no, that's not true, because I examined the corpse of the last one, and I definitely know that one of those bodies is dead.
Fair enough.
Demonstrating her very high intelligence. Probably the lowest in the party, I think, but still.
Yes, that corpse over there is dead. The one that you burned is definitely whatever it was before is now just dead.
Sweet. Should open up a school. Very wise.
So I think there are. Are you going to burn that thing? Or
Oh, you just burn the second one that we found, and yeah, then head south.
okay. Cool. I'm gonna go to the map and try and kind of set up, because I think I'm gonna get us to whichever place we go next, and then set it up and go from there. So you have two locations to the south that are the other sites of rumors. Which one do you guys want to go to? Well, I'm assuming you want to go to one of those.
I don't know. Does it really matter? I think that this path is the more like straightforward path going down to this one here. Just it's the wider path and stuff like that. I don't know, whatever one is the more smelly one, because that's where the wolf is gonna go.
So the sounds were indicated from that one.
Then that's where we should go.
Cool. Okay. Boo-boo-boo. This one does have walls. So to set this up, I haven't put the tokens on the scene yet. You guys come to a Father Inold guides you down to the next rumor location. This is there's a nice crypt entrance that actually descends down into the ground. This is a much more elaborate crypt of a Father Inold mentions it's a now deceased noble line, but this tomb has been here for at least a couple 100 years. And can I do that? Did I get everyone?
I just see Liz.
It's probably because lighting is in effect here, and it's dark. So,
Well, Lolly has dark vision.
does Lolly not see anything? I'm trying to find
No,
Lolly.
Molly just sees Liz.
Okay. I might have to set up some tokens,
I can see stuff.
which is weird because you don't have dark vision.
I do. I have.
Oh, you do now?
So I took an eldritch thingy that gives me magical sight, so I can see in the dark, in normal dark, and in magical dark, up to 120 feet.
Okay.
Wow,
Oh, you have 120 feet of dark vision? Nice.
Yes, and magical darkness does not impede me.
Oh, good to know. Okay, so then Wow, so only Lolly and Teresa have dark vision then.
Liz has dark vision.
Oh, Liz has dark vision? Okay, let me add that.
Yeah, lizard folk have dark vision.
I believe you. I just need to...
I believe you.
It didn't... I'm spoiled in my other game. The system automatically handles this for tokens, but it doesn't here because reasons. Okay, so and then you have a torch with your axe. So that should give everybody else vision. Or your mace, because your mace is always basically a torch. So you make your way down into the antechamber of this tomb. And go ahead.
But I just realized the dire wolf probably doesn't have dark vision.
Whatever. There is a... I'm going to go with the light here, and I'll... Do dire wolves have dark vision?
Doesn't say that they do.
I thought
No.
some wolves do.
Dire wolf, D&D Beyond. Senses. No, they don't. They have keen hearing and smell, though.
Yeah.
And pack tactics. Interesting. Okay. Well, you have light. If anybody wants a torch, let me know, because you can light one and say you have one. Otherwise, Xanthiel's mace provides light. But just so you know, if you move out of line of sight of each other and your vision goes dark, it's probably because Xanthiel's mace can no longer light anything up. Based on where you are physically. Although I guess that's only Gibbles, Father Inold, and Corporal Colon. So you come into the kind of the antechamber of this tomb of this dead noble family, and you all can smell that same fungal smell intensely from the room, from the door beyond. There's a doorway leading deeper into this burial chamber. Father Inold mentions that if he recalls this tomb correctly, he's pretty sure it has a statue chamber beyond, and then a few chambers of basically where members of the family were all buried. And he's looking a little more concerned than last time because everybody's now underground, and Corporal Colon is steadfastly taking notes in his notebook. And I think I will pause it there because it's midnight my time and I don't want to embark on a whole nother sequence. But I think this will be a good place to pick it up next we play.
Still no initiative.
Oh my god, we did it. That's 3 sessions in a row with no combat.
We did it!
Oh my god. It's
Well, we can
amazing.
change that. Roll for initiative.
You're officially a roleplay DM.
It's just...
You roleplayed a squirrel, alright? You did it.
Yeah, and I'll go practice my Corporal Colon voice. Does anybody know who Corporal Colon is?
Corporal of the Colon?
No? Okay. Okay. Bonus points if anybody can figure out who Corporal Colon is before our next session. I don't know what you get for it besides an introduction to an amazing thing if you can figure out who Corporal Colon is. But yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you all, and I'm hoping to be back on a more regular schedule. Now that my whole family isn't ill. So anyway, thanks everyone, and next time.
Everybody's feeling
all right, good night.
Thanks, Grim.
Bye.
Thank you.